So, since the news is out that Danielle is going to be on the show, we're all really excited.
Sorry, who?
So, so I was just wondering, like, what the process of getting her on the show was, and if she had to like audition, and like how she decided to do it.
A lot of jokes going through my head right now.
There's a lot going to me.
There's a lot.
Luckily, I wasn't involved in the question, so I can't say my jokes.
I'm feeding off of all the jokes that are running through your head. I'll give it to you straight. This kind of was something that had been going on for many years. Bob Singer, our executive producer, always threw the idea out there. Hey, when's Danielle coming on the show? And Danielle always took the stance of, no, that's your baby, that's your thing, that's you do it. I'll support you and love you and you do your thing, which was great. And that's, I love her for that. And then it was when we got picked up for season 13, she was like, it might be cool to be on the show. She said it in like passing, like I don't even think she really knew what she was getting herself into. And so when she said that, my ears perked up, and I immediately told Bob, I'm like, hey, listen, if you're still interested in having Danielle on the show, I think she actually might be up for it. And he's like, seriously? So he told his wife, Eugenie, who's one of our writers, a fantastic writer, and Eugenie jumped at the opportunity to create a character for her. So we knew that it was going to happen at some point this year, and it just so happens to be episode 1313.
Twins.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I just want to say I love you guys a lot. And my question is the same as the last one. It's just, what are both of your guys' reaction to Danielle coming on the show?
I mean, look, I think it's great. If anything, and by the way, I have to say that. But if anything, it gives me an opportunity to have my whole family up in Vancouver while I'm filming. So I get to be with everybody for a couple of weeks. So that's great. And I mean, I've worked with her before, so I know that she's. And I've always told her that she's incredible. I think she's incredibly talented, and so I'm excited to see what she does.
I can't wait. I've known Danielle. Haven't I known her longer than you've known her? Technically? Oh, shut up.
No.
You already met? I met her many years ago.
Yeah, we knew each other.
I've known her longer than I've known Jensen.
Yes, that is true.
So I know her as a friend. I know her as a mother. I know her as the wife to one of my best friends. I know her as Aunt Eel, as my sons call her, because they can't say Aunt Danielle as well as we adults can. I can't wait to work with her. I think it's really exciting. I think it's also, as a fan of the show, I'm excited for what it means. I'm excited for that little extra bit of, oh, this is going to be cool. Like, I know it's neat to have this backstory and this family where it's actually something that's we look forward to. Like, how neat will it be to see them interact on camera, and we've known them and we've loved them and supported them being Ackles and Danielle. I say Ackles. That's funny. I'll see Danielle every now and again and be like, hey, when is Ackles gonna go? And she's like, I'm an Ackles too. I'm like, oh yeah, right. When's Jensen? It just feels weird to say it. I can't wait. I'm really excited. I hope. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know that at some point in time, I'm gonna have to explain to my children why Uncle Jensen and Daddy killed Mommy. So I'm hoping that we also have to explain to his children why Uncle Jared and Aunt Mama killed Mom. So it'll be fun.
I think it was one of the first things he said was, all right, dude, but promise me this. You've got to hold her while I stab her in the gut.
Thank you.
All right, challenge accepted.
Thank you.
Thank
Howdy. I don't usually follow instructions people give me. I don't do what people tell me to do, but when Mark Shepard tells you to do something, you got to
Do
it.
the opposite.
Right? Right?
You do the opposite.
So this is for Jensen, and I don't know if anybody asked you in the gold panel, but for those of us who are poor and didn't go, he said to ask Jensen about the time he almost lost his eye in the fight scene in Kane's Kitchen. And we all like to hear about blood and gore and stunts.
The time that I almost lost my eye?
That's what he said. He said you were fighting on the table there and you almost lost your eye.
Oh.
He said,
Yeah,
Tim.
yeah, no. I think he makes. I almost took someone's eye out.
oh, well, then he was mistaken.
He was slightly mistaken, but not far from mistaken, because the person whose eye I almost took out is my stunt double, Todd. So what had happened was, and if you look at if you watch the scene, Todd is he's the actual demon that I'm fighting with up until the very end, and I kill him at the very end. So the fact that I was actually fighting the guy who normally doubles me meant that I didn't have a double that day. So I had to do everything. So because I was fighting my double. And then at the very end, there's that moment where he's slammed onto to Kane's table there, and then I take the knife and drive it right through his neck. Luckily, the knife, yeah.
It was awesome.
Luckily, the knife that I had was they call it rubber knife, but it's like very hard plastic. And there was a lot of like fight choreography that we were going through during the fight just before the stab. The tip of the blade had gotten bent like that, so it was like this, and I didn't realize that. So when I went to stab, I was just going to go just to the left of his face, but the tip had bent this way. And so instead, it caught him right under the eye and literally just opened him up.
Ooh.
Because even though it's not a steel knife, it's a very hard pointed rubber tip. And so it sliced him right open. And I, of course, was like mortified. And he just pops up and he's like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, you've got a massive cut on your eye. And he's like, "Oh, all right. Are we going again?" And he's just like holding his face together. He's like, "We're going again? Can we go again?" "Yeah." "Todd, you're bleeding." That's not that bad."
Let it be said that you were on fire that episode because you also stabbed this guy.
Yep.
You probably cut 2 people in the history of Supernatural, and it was both that episode. Remember you stabbed me right in the knee?
That's what happens when you give a guy 9 hours to shoot a fight scene. You're like, "Listen, we're not going to do anything but fights and stunts today, and it's going to be all you. You have no stunt double. Go."
Yeah, when
Don't hurt anybody.
After Dean and Kane fight, and he comes down with that giant, "That's not a knife, this is a knife" kind of knife.
Hey, to be fair,
down.
that was not my fault.
I wasn't holding the knife.
No, but you decided to knee it.
I didn't knee it.
Look, it was like this. This would be the knife.
Yep. Okay. So
And then this would be Jared.
As you're collapsing, no. So he's supposed to collapse, but he was actually collapsing. I didn't.
I didn't go like this.
I didn't see the playback. The point is, Jensen's a large man, and you can't. I'm saying that.
Rotund.
You can't,
Husky.
if he's gonna actually fall down, I wasn't gonna pick him up like this, because that's really bad. So I had to kind of I had to set my feet, and in setting my feet,
I felt it. Like I felt the
and
knife
we're rolling. It's
go
it's not
into
during
his
rehearsal.
leg.
So I kind of do this, and I feel like a ka-ching. I'm like, Use
And
it.
it's just in there. Like it's in there a good half inch.
Yeah.
And
And it's a real knife. This one.
oh yeah,
was not a rubber-
this was
is
a real steel blade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm still.
And they haven't called cut yet, so he and I can tell he knows I know he knows I know, he knows I know, he knows I know.
I'm like,
Everybody knows everything.
Is he gonna stop the scene? Because I'm pretty sure
Yeah, and so
the
then
knife
it's like,
is in his leg.
and then it's,
And he didn't. He was just like, I think I've been stabbed. But I'm not sure you knew exactly.
Yes, what?
Yeah. All right. Well, because you didn't stop, and I was like,
Dude, there's a dart in your neck.
I would.
That's,
Too many darts.
I didn't stop because I was like, okay, it's the end of the scene anyways, and they call cut, and I'm basically holding him up. I can feel that the blade is in my leg, like right above my knee. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then they go cut, and immediately Ackles just goes, dude, you all right? I felt that. And I look down, and there's already blood spreading on my
Already
pants.
pluming on his jeans, yeah.
It had gone through my pants, through my skin. Luckily, my knee had stopped it.
Who needs a knee?
I think you call that your bone.
Patellas, better for things than just bending. They can also stop knives. But yeah, you were 2 for 2 that episode. And I will
That was not my fault.
That's your fault. I blame you.
Heard of the legend of the Winchester Mystery House here in San Jose.
I've been, I have heard of it, and I went a few years ago, and I was like, this is cheesy. I went probably
Usually it's
season,
I have heard of it, I've been. Not I've been, and I have heard of it. Kind of buried the lead there.
You're still mad about the Jensen stabs people thing, aren't
I
you?
didn't stab you. Did I tell you about the one where
I stabbed a dude in the knee.
and he almost died? Where Nias and I climbed to the top of a construction crane. Kids, don't do this. Adults, don't do this. This was years ago, I don't know. I was young, let's put it that way. And a friend of mine and I thought it would be entertaining to climb one of those construction cranes in the middle of the night. This one happened to be building a 48-story apartment building. So it was roughly 52 stories high. And we climbed over the construction fence, and this was so stupid. We climbed all the way in, because there's ladders inside the scaffolding. Climbed all the way up to where the base meets the arm, and there's like a hatch. Well, that hatch was locked. So instead of going, well, this was a bad idea, let's turn around, we decided to climb out of the scaffolding and up and around. Now we're 500 feet in the middle of the night. No one knows we're there. And so we do it, we climb over, and then we walk all the way out to the end of the arm there. We dangle our feet off the edge. Oh yeah, it's swaying. And we just sit there and just, have a conversation, just hang out for 15, 20 minutes, and then we're like, all right, let's go back. And in going back, it had started to rain a little bit. So the metal on the crane was now slick, and we had to climb outside of the scaffolding and back in. And I slipped. And luckily, my buddy Mike, who is actually no longer with us, not for that reason, had the very intelligent idea of, we found a little piece of rope up there, and he had tied it around my chest. He's like, I'm just gonna, because it's wet now, he's like, why don't you and I'll just belay you down. And I'm like, all right. So I slipped, and he literally caught me. And then I swung myself in, got in, and then he did the same. He tied it around his waist, and I held it. But that was pretty much as close to stupid death as I ever got in my life. It was after that where I was like, I don't need to do stuff like that anymore. Check that off the list. And Mom, if you're gonna see this, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.